Obviously, it can only be the antique dealer and owner of Rusotai Kurokuta. Kuro, as in Mr. Cucumber something? Honestly, these ridiculous Japanese names are quite unfathomable. Same here, but I will try to make an effort to learn them anyway. Hey guys, Zack here, and welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. So, in the last episode, we kind of, sort of, were able to get Jezebel Brett to get. We got most of her plot out, but apparently, so our working theory is that she poisoned the professor, but apparently there was no poison. They tested it for poison and they couldn't find anything. So. But as it turns out, Professor Mikotoba's daughter, I believe, she came in with some other decisive evidence, and now we're gonna have to figure out what she's all about. So we're gonna go do that in this episode. Yes, let's do this. All right, gonna eat an almond because they're here. 22nd November, 1:14 p.m. Supreme Court of Judicature, Courtroom 2. All right. Oh, right in the courtroom scene. Okay. Well, I understand you are the judicial assistant to the defense, but why this sudden ingress into my court? A judicial assistant, and a woman no less. Well, 19th century, I'll allow it. The rules state, females are not permitted into this court of law other than to testify. Yes, I fully understand. I ask only for 5 minutes of time. I have some vital evidence I must hand over to the defense. You're too late, little girl. The trial has already been concluded. 5 minutes. I will not allow a moment more. But, Your Excellency! I am most grateful. Who exactly are you? I'm sorry. There's no time. Please, simply accept this for now. Alright, she'll introduce herself properly later. What is it, a report about something written in English? It's Jezebel Brett's research. The English woman's? After the trial resumed earlier, I hurried back to the university. I went to Dr. Wilson's laboratory in the medical faculty and borrowed this paper. Oh yes, that's right. Miss Brett was studying under the professor, wasn't she? So, does this research, whatever it is, have something to do with the case? We're about to find out. I'm afraid I don't know. I haven't been able to listen to the proceedings of the trial myself. Fair enough. Oh, no, of course not. Fair enough. That makes sense. Special characteristics of curature and its effects on human subjects. Interesting. Courier? What is that? I've never heard of that word before. Time's up. The prosecution demands the immediate removal of this female trespasser from the courtroom. There was too little time for me to read it in detail, but I've summarized what I could on a note just inside the cover. If you think it could be valuable, please cast your eye over it. This is wonderful. Thank you. Jezebel's report has been entered into the court record. Goodbye, then. And good luck. Thank you. And now she has to head out because she's not allowed to be here, apparently. Which, you have had long enough, counsel. We cannot detain our English guest any longer. Yeah, but we do have some things. I asked the prosecution and the defense now one last time. Does either side have any further evidence to present to the court? I presume not, but... Actually, yes. Hold on. I'm gonna open this notebook up. Examine. A poison made from bark of certain trees in the jungles of South America. The hunters of the region have used it since ancient times to incapacitate its prey. Alright. Effects. Instant paralysis of the entire body and subsequent death, even in minute doses. Route of entry. The above-mentioned effects occur when the poison enters the body through a wound, such as inflicted by a blowpipe dart. Alright. Practical applications. Due to its ability to render human body paralytic, it is believed the toxin could have an application as an anesthetic. However, a solution for the respiratory arrest caused by the sun as a result of the full body paralysis must be found first, or patients would die of suffocation. Alright. Actually, yes, we do. Okay, so the prosecution has made its case convincingly enough already. Nothing more to add, Your Excellency. Ryunosuke, we're out of options here. This really is our very last chance. Yes, I know. Your Excellency, the defense does have new evidence. That look. The unyielding stare of a true Japanese warrior. Well, Miss Brett? Yes, Your Excellency? If you wouldn't mind, perhaps you could grace us with your presence a little longer? It's a delightful invitation, but I'm afraid it's not so very long until tea time. I'll have to politely decline. Oh, she can't. Forgive me, Miss Brett. It seems I wasn't clear. I realize it was phrased as a question. However, I must ask you to treat this as an order. I've said it many times before, but the Japanese language makes no sense. My apologies, dear lady. Alright, so, Counsel. What is this new evidence that demands the court's attention? This.
Yes.
Miss Jezreel's Brett, we understand you were studying under Dr. Wilson at Yuma University during research. Research, by sheer coincidence, perhaps, into a deadly poison. What? Poison? Where are you going with this, Counsel? I'm interested as well. A toxin known as Curare, Your Excellency. Even in the slightest amount of this deadly poison entering the body leads to instant death. What? What complete and utter nonsense? Curare, you say? I've never heard of it. You wouldn't have done. What do you mean? I mean that you wouldn't have heard of Curare before for one very simple reason. It doesn't exist in our country. That's fair. It doesn't exist. Correct. Which means, no matter what test the police can do for toxins, they've never identified Curare. Why? Because there is no test available here that can identify the presence of this highly deadly poison. What? Alright, we're getting somewhere. We're getting to a point. Order, order, order. Counsel, does this deadly poison truly exist? According to this report authored by the visiting research student from England, Curare has long been used by the tribespeople of South America as a poison to lace their arrows. It seems that it's reasonably well known among European doctors and scientists. To lace their arrows? The reports state that it is produced from the extract of a tree that grows deep in the Amazonian jungle. And it was first brought back to Europe at the turn of the century by explorers. It claims that the animals shot by arrows laced with Curare suffer instant death. Doesn't that about sum it up, Mr. Pratt? She's not going to be happy with me. Trumpery! These aspersions are utterly trumpery. To start with, if the victim had been administered some of this so-called deadly poison, he would have been squirming and writhing in pain. The other diners would have surely noticed. That's true. What do you say to that, Inspector? Alright, obviously I would have noticed a disturbance like that. I don't remember anything like that either. I didn't notice the professor being in any kind of pain. According to this, however, it's the other way around. What do you mean, the other way around? The very fact that the victim didn't show any visible signs of distress is evidence that Curare was used. Explain yourself, Counsel. The moment this toxin enters a person's system, it causes instant paralysis. In other words, afflicted victims lose all strength and are completely unable to move. Even if they were in total agony, there would be no visible signs of pain at all. How terrible. Obviously, if a man lost all strength in his muscles, he'd collapse on the floor. But with a chair under him for support, as Dr. Wilson did, the effects could go largely unnoticed. But I don't follow, Kazuma. That's just paralysis. I thought the poison caused instant death. The full explanation is extremely unpleasant. The poison causes immediate paralysis, as I said, leaving the victim unable to move. But after a short time, the paralysis is so severe, it causes the muscles that control respiration to fail. Respiration? In other words, the actual cause of death is suffocation. And all the while, the victim is conscious and aware, just unable to move. That's hideous. To the observer, it would look almost like the victim was slipping peacefully into an endless sleep. But for the victim himself, his final moments would be of living hell. That is the true nature of this deadly cure poison. And you're suggesting that this bottle, Council, actually contains this terrifying poison. This is all very convenient, isn't it? A hitherto unknown poison for which there is no means of testing. What a happy tale for the defense. Ahem. If I may, all these facts, you think you're so clever, but you must be taught some man... Okay. It is you who must be taught. Of course. Dear lady. So, this is how you Japanese behave, is it? What? You steal another's honest hard work and then announce the results as if you discovered them. I'm appalled. What a loathsome act. Well, Miss Brett, the feeling is mutual. Whatever do you mean? Capitalizing on the unfortunate circumstances of an innocent man to frame him for a heinous crime? That really is a loathsome act. Wouldn't you agree? Enough of this. I, for one, refuse to accept it. The idea of some poison that doesn't exist even in the great empire of Japan is breaking the rules. Ha ha ha. What's so funny? Oh, excuse me, Your Excellency. Yes, Miss Brett? May I borrow that bottle for a moment, please? Well, yes, I don't see, why not? Uh-oh. Oh, no, she's gonna drink it? You know, it seems safe. Don't get too big for your boots, you insignificant little island boys. Sorry. To an Englishwoman such as myself, this whole affair is a farcical comedy. Your little police games and all these foolish court romantics, it's laughable, really. But I'm getting bored of it all now. It's time for the games to end. Oh, she's going to drink it. Cheers! Wait, what? What are you doing? No sparkle left at all. How appropriate for this shabby affair. Well, there goes all of our evidence. Seems like a bad idea. Goodness. Whatever is the matter? You all look quite stunned. So, no cure. The bottle was clean. Is that what you're saying? Ha 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 ha. You look quite incredulous, little boy. But of course. That's the simple truth. Thank you for presenting the findings of my research so concisely here in this grand venue. Most kind. Grr. Thank you, waiter. Now then, Your Excellency. Yes, Miss Brett. I should like to be excused now, please. I think I've given more than enough of my time for the furtherance of friendship between our countries. Yes, dear lady. We are most gratified with all the assistance you have given. I'm not. This doesn't make sense. There had to have been poison in that bottle. So how? How did she swallow a whole glass and live to tell the tale? I don't understand it. Well, I suppose if nothing else, this little Far Eastern charade will make for interesting conversation at the next party I attend in London. There has to have been poison in that bottle. Doesn't there? But there can't have been, because if otherwise she would have been killed over dead. Alright, come on, Rinosuke. We have all the clues now. That bottle of water. Well, this is interesting. Okay, so, court record. Well, let's see. Look at the other pieces of evidence then. Salmon. Well, other than that... Well, let's see. Effects, instant paralysis, road of entry. The above method occurs when the poison enters the body through a wound. Oh. That's not how she killed him, though. That wouldn't have been how she killed him, because he has a wound on his chest. He only okay, I get it now. As I thought, there is no poison in that bottle. What? Why Ryunosuke? Isn't it obvious? If there was poison in there, she'd be dead by now. Sometimes your unadulterated naivety really astounds me. But sometimes it's in need of a good staining. Even if it's as dark as your uniform the way out of the world. Oh, is that what this color is supposed to represent? That was guileless ending of a promising line of entry council for which you will be penalized. Okay. This whole trial is poisoned. There. Okay. Oh, okay, so it is the other way around. Contains poison. The culprit did put cure poison into Dr. Wilson's carbonated water. The defense refuses to change its position. You're serious. Okay, so this is what I need to do. Fool, are you blind? There is no possible way that bottle could contain poison. I mean, we just saw Miss Brett drinking the water from it. That's right. Which rather complicates your argument, I think. And I believe that complication can be explained. How, exactly? I need to think through all of the things that don't quite add up here, one by one. I'm sure the answer is in the evidence we have in the court record somewhere. It has to be. Very well. If the defense truly intends to assert this claim, then I must ask you to support the assertion with the evidence. Alright, what explains how the witness was able to consume this supposedly poisoned water unscathed? Okay, let's check, let's examine this. Route of entry, the above-mentioned effects occur when the poison enters the body through a wound, such as inflicted by a blowpipe dart. Do you ability to remember the... Okay. Well? Can't find anything out of play. There's gotta be something else then. This is clearly a record of some kind of medical treatment. It's impossible to imagine not being able to feel pain, though. There's a cautionary note at the end from whoever wrote this. It says, no food or drink other than water for 3 hours, post-procedure. Okay. I'm trying to figure out what I need to do here. Okay, there's gotta be something I'm missing. Because her report says that it has to go through an open wound for it to inflict somebody. And he had a tooth taken out.
Yes.
Okay, there we go. The answer to this riddle is right here in Miss Brett's own research report. That's not a valid explanation. No. After all, we don't speak English. The report is utter gibberish. This impudent young scoundrel is trying to ridicule the court, Your Excellency. I know what I'm doing. I'm not trying to ridicule anyone. Honest. I'm just reading Sosato-san's notes. I concur. This report is too extensive to be considered in its entirety by the court. You will direct us to the pertinent section, Counsel. Which section of the report reveals the alleged answer to this riddle? Special characteristics. We've been hearing a lot about this cure poison. And it's left me curious about something. Oh, Counsel? Well, it sounds as though indigenous hunters have been using this poison for years and years. To lace the heads of their arrows that they shoot at whatever prey they're hunting. So we've been led to believe, yes. And the point of hunting is to catch prey to eat. Get to the point, please. But if they were to use these laced arrows, doesn't that mean there would be traces of poison left in the prey the hunters were going to eat? Yes, good point. So surely the hunters wouldn't want to eat their prey, would they? Because then they'd be eating poison. Good gracious, Council. No, that would be madness. But I actually found the answer to that conundrum in this research paper here. Under special characteristics, it says this. The poison starts to work after entering the body through a wound. Through a wound, you say? I see. That makes sense. Yes, the mention of that particular detail seems a little strange to me, though. But it all makes sense when you interpret what's written like this. When cure enters the body through an open wound, it has terrifying poisonous effects. However, when it enters the body via the mouth, it has no poisonous effects whatsoever. What? Miss Brett, you authored this research. You knew the cure's special characteristics. And you knew that you could make a spectacle out of drinking that water without any danger to yourself. Got a point there. You meddling little... Oh, that's an actual bird on her hat. Rapscallion. She has an actual bird on her head. Well, Ryosuke, it turns out you're an even better lawyer than I thought you'd be. Really? Me? A lawyer? All this poison talk is fascinating, I'm sure. But I fail to see how it's possibly... Alright. So, the ill-bred little puppy has a new toy to play with. Some facts he read in a book. But I'm afraid that knowledge doesn't suit you, little boy. It only makes you look silly. What are you trying to say? Your schoolboy logic is a fatal flaw. Schoolboyish? Flaw? As even your brain has managed to deduce, Curia is safe to ingest. It seems likely that its effects are neutralized by the acidic nature of the gastric succus. Yeah, that makes sense. Oh, yes, well, of course. Gastric suckers? What are they? So, if this lethal poison is completely harmless when drunk, the professor wouldn't have died when he swallowed it, would he? But that's right. Good gracious. That's basic science. Science that even schoolboys should be able to understand, no? But there is one thing that does confirm my theory, though. Order in court, order. The logic holds. If the lady and the professor drank the same poison, would they be affected in the same way? Are you trying to suggest... Yes, this cure poison is completely irrelevant to the case of the trial. That's right. Surely even a little cockroach like you could understand something as simple as that. Uh-oh. What is this welling up inside me? I've never felt this before. It's a sort of conviction to break down all the discrepancies. It's so intense, almost rage-like. And more than anything else, it's an animalistic desire to take down my prey. Oh, there he goes. Oh! He just shouted... Okay. I don't think so, Miss Jezebel Brett. So he just used his first objection. He finally accepted himself as a lawyer. How dare you use that tone with me? You know very well that there is no fatal flaw here. You know exactly why, even though both you and the victim swallowed the same poison. You are alive, but Dr. Wilson is dead. Alright. Counsel, I sure I don't need to remind you. You must provide compelling evidence. As we now know that this poison is completely harmless when ingested. Why would Dr. Wilson alone have been killed by the Curer? Because of his medical report.
Take that!
As Miss Brett so readily pointed out, she drank the same water as the professor. However, there was a fundamental and fatal difference between the two diners. A fatal difference? The toxic effects of Cura are only felt when the poison enters the body through an open wound. So, for a healthy person with no injuries, drinking it is completely harmless. But what if there was a wound inside the mouth of the person drinking the poisoned water? Inside? Yes, like the wound you might have if you had just been to the dentist and had a tooth extracted, for example. Ah! Ah! Miss Brett, you've acknowledged many times in your testimony already. In fact, you were well aware of Dr. Wilson's dental appointment that day. Ah! So that's it. You used that knowledge to orchestrate this. Heh heh heh. Is she laughing? I don't like to repeat myself, but honestly, I can't resist. These childish courtroom games and your half-baked arguments are so puerile. What? What do you mean? Don't worry, little schoolboy. You'll find out soon enough. You see, when you leave vital evidence lying around, you never know what might happen to it. No. I mean, it could just slip. Oh dear, how careless of me. I'm afraid some crucial evidence may have just been tragically destroyed. No! No! Well, okay then. What is it? What just happened? It's the English woman. She just smashed that bottle. And in the Supreme Court. What a terrible blunder. Officer, what are you waiting for? Collect up as much of the water from that broken bottle as possible. At once! You're wasting your time. This delightful carpet under my feet here was a gift from the British Empire. I assure you, it will soak up the water beautifully. You have neither the technology nor the presence of mind to recover it. Ahahahaha. How could you? You won't get away with this. You can't thump the bench and shout as much as you like, little boy. But I'm afraid we'll never know, will we? If there really was poison in that bottle, or not. And let's not forget, we still have some very compelling evidence left intact. Isn't that right, counsel for the prosecution? Oh, of course, of course! You're referring to this photograph of print, I presume, dear lady? That's right. And really, looking at this photograph, it's as clear as day, isn't it? The poor professor was sitting on his back with his back to me. So of course the only person who could have shot him from the front is the little schoolboy. Objection! No, you killed the victim that day, using cure air. And then, in order to frame Ryunosuke Naruhodo for the crime, you waited until he picked up the pistol you arranged for him to find on the floor, before you shot the professor's dead body in the chest with your own hidden gun. Then, in the confusion that followed, all you had to do was turn the dead professor in his chair around. You see, you had every opportunity to commit this crime. Heh heh heh. What a wonderful imagination you have, young man. A hidden gun, you say? And I shot the professor's dead body, did I? Well, I'm terribly sorry, but you don't have a shred of evidence. Exactly. And as you have nothing to support your wild claims, the prosecution's stance remains unchanged. The victim, Dr. John H. Wilson, was killed by a gunshot to the chest. Delivered in cold blood by the accused, Ryunosuke Naruhodo. This is unbelievable. How can this be happening? We had her, but now, is she really going to get away with it? The way she destroyed the evidence was obscene. Ryunosuke. Yes? We've come this far, but now you're the only one who can finish it. What? What do you mean? We've lost a vital piece of evidence, it's true. So if there is any clue left for us to use now, they must be in your head. In my head? You told me before that your powers of observation were the one thing you could really depend upon. Yes, well, yes, that's true, but I didn't manage to notice that this woman was a foreigner with a swan on her head. So think back again now. Try to remember every detail about the scene that day. Everything you saw, everything you felt, every color, every smell. What I saw, what I felt. Every color. Oh. Is Kazuma right? Somewhere in the vibrant memory of the same scene in my head. Could there be another clue to expose the identity of Dr. Wilson's killer? There's a clue. Because there's blood there. Actually, Kazuma, I think I might have something. Thinking back over everything I saw, I think I might have uncovered another clue. Haha, you always have something up your sleeve. You don't you, Ryunosuke? Come on, then. Let's wipe the smug smile off that English woman's face with some evidence. Alright. I can't wait. Alright, it's been niggling at me for a while that something feels amiss in my memories of that day. Whatever it is, that could be the key to arriving at the truth all about this. It's here somewhere. The clue that shows who Dr. Wilson's real killer must have been is... Alright. There. Alright, present. Inspector Hosonaga, answer me this. Yes? What is it? He's still miles away. Probably thinking about that bottle being smashed. As you've said a number of times now, you strive for perfection in your investigations, don't you? Absolutely. I wonder, therefore, if perhaps you took anything else from the scene of the crime. Like, for instance, the plate of steak that you took to the victim's table that day? Wait a minute. Where are you going with this? Where are you going with this, little boy? It's just a memory that's been troubling me. What memory? I saw the scene that's shown in this photographic print with my own eyes that day. And I saw that on the wooden base of the plate that the steak was served on was a spattering of blood. What? Oh, really? And what of it? Obviously, that must have happened when you shot the professor. No, that can't be the case. Take a good look at the photograph and the relative position of everything there. The plate of steak is almost directly behind the victim. If I'm supposed to have shot Dr. Wilson in the chest from the front, there was no way that blood of the victim could have ended up directly behind him. Ah! Yes. For blood to have made it onto the plate, it implies the plate was between the victim and the shooter. Which means the shooter must have been sitting opposite the professor, as you were. Jezebel Brett! I beg your pardon? This is beyond ridiculous. Fabricated nonsense. Is the court seriously expected to believe something that the accused has apparently just remembered seeing? Oh? This could be the moment that my entire career in the police force has been leading to. Inspector? You mean... Yes, I took the plate, and in the interest of preserving evidence from the scene of the crime, I took it, meat and all, and I don't care if they call me a crime scene thief because of it. You did what? I took the steak you had been eating, Miss Brett. I took the steak that the surgeon had been eating. And I did it all, in the name of justice. Then we can find out for sure whether or not there's a blood sign on Miss Brett's plate. We must examine it, now! Inspector? I'm very curious as to where this is going. The court wishes to examine the plate from the victim's table immediately. Yes, sir! Oh. There's the plate. Sorry for the delay. Here's what you ordered. The steak. Well, what about the blood? Is there blood on it? Of course there isn't. Quickly, Inspector. The blood, man! Show the court! Of course. Examine the plate at your leisure. No. No blood. No blood anywhere. But no. That's impossible! I know I saw it. I'm sure of it. It was right there on the table behind the professor. There was blood on the side of the plate. Oh, but there's no wooden tray here, right? What an unbecoming expression, little boy. You see, this is why obviously you can't trust what the Japanese tell you. Ah. I couldn't agree more. In the case of this disgrace to the Empire, I believe we may finally have reached a conclusion in this trial. Let's hope so. This let's pretend attempt in court proceedings is painful to watch. But I do promise to do my best to forget all about it when it's over. Ha! This sorry-looking steak reveals all the facts all too clearly. And if the sorry-looking accused wishes to examine it again, be my guest. The plate of... Okay. Was the plate I saw, or thought I saw, just a figment of my imagination? Let's look at it again. Examine? Oh. Huh? What in the world is this? I think it's a Koban coin. And the hallmark from the Hawaii area, I believe. No, I don't mean what is it? I mean, what's it doing there? Oh, that's the Koban coin from earlier in the case. Did you say it was a Hawaii Koban? Yes. And apart from the meat juices, it looks to be in good condition. I imagine it's very valuable. This isn't the first time today that there's been talk of a Hawaii Koban. I've heard of pearls before swine, but I've never heard of bullion in Bullion. And I don't think you will ever again. This is extraordinary, though. This means... This isn't the thing. This isn't the thing. This isn't... Was it... No, it's not. This is it now. I've lost. No, you haven't. You're Yosuke. It's not over yet. Not until the final gavel. Never stop believing in yourself. Keep looking forward, no matter what. Believe in myself? Really? Maybe I should at least examine the evidence for myself. I did. As my evidence requested by the defense has not been shown to be problematic in any way, I presume any further examination of evidence in this trial will be unnecessary. Does the defense have any objection? Yes! We do have an objection. The bloodstain was going to clinch the trial for me. Can this steak reveal any other clue? There's another clue. We know this. Your Excellency, please wait. This plate of beef is hiding another clue. Another clue that revealed the shocking truth. The only thing that's shocking here is your unhealthy fascination with beefsteak. Your Excellency, I think I've made myself clear, haven't I? I will not be able to turn a blind eye to any more unnecessary procrastination in this trial. I'm sorry, Miss Brett, but we must ensure a thorough examination of the evidence. I will not give a ruling until I'm completely satisfied that all reasonable doubt has been dispelled. I see. As a newly affirmed ally to my country, that's still your position, is it? Thank you, Your Excellency. Counsel for the defense, you will now clearly show the court to what you are alluding. Where precisely on this plate of beefsteak is the new clue to be found? Well, specifically under, but... There we go. Huh? What the world? Okay. Okay. Okay, so there's my clue. Okay, so... Okay. 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 Okay, I need to... I certainly never expected to find a precious coin underneath this thick cut of meat. And from the Hawaii art too. Okay. Well, marinated juices as well. Look. What, are you thinking of eating it? No, but the next time I order steak in an expensive restaurant, one thing's for sure. My heart's going to be racing as I lift up the meat and peek underneath for a prize. I think you might have the wrong end of the stick about this, Ryunosuke. Alright, a Koban coin underneath this steak. There's only one logical explanation. Alright, present. Okay. Good gracious! That's... Koban? What on earth? A Hawaii era one at that. Miss Brett, this is in fact the beefsteak that you ordered at the restaurant on the day in question, is it? Tell me, why is there an old coin seemingly hidden underneath the meat? That's a good point. What a ridiculous question. How should I know? I've never seen that thing before in my life. I don't know what it is, but I want no part of it. I fail to see how this is relevant. A coin under the meat? This could simply have been a careless mistake by the chef in the moment of distraction. Don't be absurd. We're supposed to believe that this happened by accident in the kitchen. A rare Ho'oi Koban just happens to be hidden underneath that piece of steak. If this turns out to be irrelevant to the case, I'll rip up my ticket to Great Britain right now. He's right. It can't be a coincidence. Your Excellency? Yes, Counsel? A rare Ho'oi Koban just happened to be hidden underneath that piece of steak? If that turns out to be irrelevant to the case, I'll give up my lawyer job right now. By all means, don't let us stop you. No one invited you anyway. Perhaps, little boy, you should realize that it is you who is irrelevant. Even though I'm the one on trial here. The point is, it's essential that we ask the owner of this coin if he can explain what it's doing under that steak. The owner? Yes, it's obvious. There's only one person it can belong to. The owner of the Koban that was found underneath the beefsteak is... Alright. Present. Obviously, it can only be the antique dealer and owner of Rusutai Kurokuta. Kuroi, as in Mr. Cucumber something? Honestly, these ridiculous Japanese names are quite unfathomable. Same here, but I'll try to make an effort to learn them anyway. Ah, yes. The old man who testified earlier alongside the military sergeant, correct? Yes, Your Excellency. I remember him saying that he was up to something with his Koban coin when it happened. Exactly the moment the gun was fired. The gunshot interested me not. I was far too busy on the floor. Too busy on the floor? Sorry, what were you doing? Hunting for the treasure. Indeed, the Ho'ei-era Koban, my prized coin. This Ho'ei-era Koban, do you mean to tell me? No, please. Why would Kurokuta-san's Koban be sandwiched between the victim's beefsteak and its plate? Yes. Makes no sense. Okay, which is why I'm asking to bring Kurokuta-san back to the witness stand, so we can ask him. Officer? Bring both witnesses that testified earlier back here. Without a moment's delay. I can't believe we've come back round to that pair again. But I have a hunch, a strong hunch, that if we chase down the real significance of this Koban, we'll find that it's a key element to this case. Alright, so... we're turning this around. Okay, now they're part of the thing again. Alright, let's see how this turns out for us. What is this all about? Why have I been called up again? Don't you realize that it's dinner time for little baby Ido? When my son's belly is empty, he's fiercer than a pack of wolves. Exploited by the police we were, like miserable dogs forced to bear false witness. And when cast from this courtroom, I became a ruined man in a trice, a worthless, withered antique. Nothing more have I to say. The sun has set on this Rasutai shop owner's existence. Be that as it may, Kurokuta-san, something has come to light that requires your clarification. As far as your Rasutai memory serves, have you ever seen this Koban? Wah! Oh, that's it! The very exact one that it is! The resplendent, super indiferous Ho'ei treasure that my rusty bones managed to misplace that fateful day. It can't be. Also, the general has a knife in his foot now. As I thought. Young man, enlighten me, this decrepit old fool. Put me out of my misery. Where was my treasure? Where was it dropped? Oh, I'm not sure if it was dropped anywhere. We found your coin sandwiched between a beefsteak and its plate, soaking in the seasoned meat's juices. Sandwich? Soaking? Seriously? Clearly, it couldn't have fallen there by accident. Which means... somebody must have hidden it there on purpose. Somebody concealed my Ho'ei treasure between a slab of meat and a metal plate? Who would do such a thing? Such an unconscionable thing. Excuse me. Could I say something? Sure. Yes, of course. Proceed, Inspector Hosonaga. Alright, what is it? I mentioned this earlier on in the trial, but I was working undercover in the restaurant in order to investigate another case. Ah, yes, that's right. The secret undercover operation. La Carnival is a high-class Western cuisine restaurant. It attracts wealthy diners, including many foreigners. Recently, there's been a run of similarly executed thefts targeting the restaurant's rich clientele. A number of such incidents have been reported to the police bureau. Wicked crimes indeed. Okay, so he was investigating a bunch of thefts. We wanted to nip this case in the bud quickly, especially with so many foreigners being affected. So that's why you were sent in undercover, is it? Yes, I took on the job of waiter at the restaurant in order to flush out the criminal. It seems likely that this Koban incident is the works of the same thief. So unbeknownst to us, there was a master thief at work in the restaurant on a regular basis. The place was already the scene of several crimes, it seems. I don't know about the master thief part, but the identity of the person who stole it and hid Kochikoto-san's Koban is all too clear. What? What? I think the court would like to hear the defense's view of this matter. Tell us, who is this despicable scoundrel that stole Kochikoto-san's Koban and hid it under the steak? Well? Well, the only person I can think of is Jezebel Brett. Since obviously, well, actually, no, either John H. Wilson, I don't really know. I'm assuming it's Brett since she hasn't seen that before. No, it wouldn't be Brett because she hadn't seen it before. Well, he had access. I'm gonna say Wilson, since he was the only other person I can think of. I mean, if not him? I'm gonna... It's either Brett... No, since... I don't think it would be Brett since she wouldn't have stolen it, but, It wouldn't be Sasito, so since we know she wasn't there. So from that, it's these five. It was these five here, since they were the only ones in the room. We know it wasn't Satoru since he was actually investigating. Couldn't have been the old man, and it couldn't have been. I'm going to. Okay, I have options. I'm going to save real fast, because I don't know. And then we're going to... It's gotta be somebody. Let's...
Take that!
Alright, yes. Seems like a likely candidate for a Koban thief. No, come on, Rinosuke. Huh? You shocked me, Kazuma. Not as much as shocked me, no one could have approached the table and noticed. Even if you're a crazy fool, you couldn't have missed that. I'm not sure you could have been calling her just kind of crazy fool, Kazuma. It is you who's calling the crazy fool. Ah, maybe I'm off the wrong track here. Okay, so I gotta load. Okay, I'm gonna load it. I don't know. Who is it then? It's gotta be somebody. Let's...
Take that!
Okay, options. Okay, I'm just gonna narrow it down. Alright. Well, it was this guy who was looking for it, so maybe him? Alright, obviously, it can only be you. Sergeant Nosa. What? How? How dare you? You monster. Monster? I stole that koban, did I? I'm the master thief of La Carnival, am I? You're seriously accusing me of these crimes, cadet? But it wasn't me, it was Ido. Ido is the mastermind behind all this. Ido's a baby. You would push the blame for your crimes onto your own son, an innocent little baby? It is you who's the monster, Sergeant Nosa. Alright. We've got the evidence we need. Alright. Ah! Okay, he's... Clippity-clop, 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 clippity-clop. Okay. Alright. Well, that happened. Nippon Imperial Army Sergeant Ayo Nasanosa, preparing to stand down in the Supreme Court, sir. Okay. Well, that's the end. That answers one mystery. Do any of you know of the extraordinary low wages the Nippon Imperial Army pays those it expects to keep our country safe? I understand that the temporary increase in taxation owing to the recently ended conflicts remain in place. And I have heard it's hard for lower-ranking soldiers to make a living, yes. All I want is to put a hot meal on the table for my son. That's why you were stealing things at the restaurant. The place is heaving with money. Every 3 days, I go there and do reconnaissance for a target. And I enjoy chopping my way through the good steak at the same time. It sounds like he doesn't bother with a knife and fork even, which is worryingly believable. And your target that day was an old man in his koban? Yes, sir. It was an easy mark. I slipped the coin into my pocket without any trouble at all. A veritable phantom thief you are. I was all set to leave the steak I was halfway through devouring when it happened. Okay. Yes, when the professor was shot, I knew that if the police conducted a search and found the coin in my pocket, I'd be finished. And Ido too. So I hid the incriminating evidence as fast as I could. On the double. I slipped it under the steak. Hoping that I'd be able to rendezvous with it again at a later date. Well, that's definitely incriminating. I mean, that doesn't really get me unconvicted of murder, but it does... it does confirm that it is indeed Jezzael Brett's steak. This is ridiculous. Perhaps you could carry on with this absurd prattling in your own time? Well, Miss Brett? Oh, of course, dear lady. Of course. How rude of us. I'm quite sure there's no need to detain you any longer at all. Alright, if you says so. May the esteemed gentlewoman please be excused, Your Excellency? Indeed. The theft of the koban was clearly perpetrated by this baby-saddled sergeant. It would certainly appear to be unrelated to Dr. Wilson's murder. At least for now. Of course it is. Hiding a coin under a lump of meat? The sheer nonsense of such an idea astounds me. Nonsense, is it? Well... Oof. And as for picking up your steak and biting into it without using a knife and fork. It's beyond nonsense. It's pure madness. Very well. Now that all questions concerning this witness's testimony have been answered, I see no further justification for detaining her. Miss Brett, you are free to leave. Thank you, Your Excellency. Good luck, everyone. I'm not sure where she's going. And good day. Oh, he's come to a realization. What's the matter with you? This is no time for daydreaming. Oh, no, it's just... Something about Miss Brett's parting words there got me thinking. I can't quite work out what exactly, but something she said jarred with me. I feel like there was a contradiction in there somewhere. Something I didn't quite add up. If that's the case, don't just stand there thinking. Make your own voice heard. Sorry? You can think later, but if you don't call out now, it's too late. The trial will be over.
Hold it!
Alright. Wait, Miss Brett. What is it now? I'm afraid, just one last time, there's something I'd like to ask you. I'd like you to explain the contradiction in your parting words from just a few moments ago. What are you talking about? What contradiction? What new sudden student nonsense is this? Well, what parting words are you talking about, Ryunosuke? Hiding a coin under a lump of meat? The sheer nonsense of such an idea astounds me. And as for picking up your stick and biting into it without using a knife and fork? It's beyond nonsense. It's pure madness. Yes, I'm right. What she said there exposed an undeniable contradiction. I'm going to need to see evidence, Counsel. If Miss Brett's words truly are contradictory, where is the evidence to prove it? Well, with the steak cheese, it has bites taken out of it. With the steak itself. Alright, present that. The photographic print of the scene taken immediately after the incident occurred. What's interesting is the plate of steak that you can see on the victim's table. The steak that Miss Brett had been eating before the professor was killed, yes. Go on. More accurately, Your Excellency, the steak that was on the victim's table just before the professor was killed. Now you're just splitting hairs. Not true. Doesn't something about the steak strike you as very unnatural? Unnatural? What on earth do you mean? It's got huge bites taken out of it, that's what I mean. It's extremely obvious. I'm talking about the shape of the edge where it's been eaten. Okay. I see you've noticed it too, Miss Brett. Noticed what exactly, Counsel? Just a few moments ago, Miss Brett claimed no Englishman could even contemplate picking up a steak and biting into it without using a knife and fork. Of course she did. She's a refined English gentlewoman herself. Then take a good look at the steak. In particular, the edge where it's been eaten. As you can see, there are clearly defined barbaric teeth marks there. Ah! Oh! Ah! It looks like Miss Brett had realized something. So, if the witness, as she claims, wouldn't contemplate eating anything without using a knife and fork, there shouldn't be teeth marks in the steak at all. He's got a point there. But, what is your actual point? Perhaps this is the delightful Miss Brett was ravenously hungry and... okay. Alright, she's upset. Oh, whatever you say, dear lady. As I said, I really must be leaving now. Afternoon tea with the Minister of Justice cannot possibly wait any longer. Of course, of course. This will be all be over in a blink of an eye. Rest assured, I'm about to put this rookie in his place. Just leave everything... okay, she's upset. I've heard enough. You're irritating little spectacled samurai relic. Of course. Dear lady. What's the matter, Miss Brett? Have we ruffled your feathers? Clearly, the witness knows what this means. She realized the catastrophic implications these teeth marks in the steak have for her. Ryunosuke, do you know where you're going with this? Yes, now at last, it's all come together. The mysterious teeth marks in a steak that had allegedly been eaten with cutlery. The reason why the blood stain I saw somehow seems to have disappeared. And most importantly, the evidence that proves once and for all who shot Dr. Wilson that day. I accept that these teeth marks in the steak are a little unnatural, as you put it, Counsel. But what exactly are you suggesting that tells us? Everything, Your Excellency. Everything? Yes, I believe that these barbaric teeth marks in the steak here amount to conclusive evidence in this case. Evidence that will prove beyond any doubt who shot Dr. Wilson. Conclusive evidence? How many times have I heard that today? You wouldn't know the meaning of the phrase. Typical Japanese empty threats. How can you be so sure? Oh, it's quite simple. If you really had such conclusive evidence, you would have presented it to the court long ago. Actually, the evidence I'm talking about hasn't been brought before the court yet. Hasn't been? What? But it's just because it hasn't been shown yet. Doesn't mean that the evidence does not exist. This is absurd. The trial has run several hours already, and you say there's evidence yet to be brought forward? There can't be. I don't believe you have it. Alright, I don't, but there's someone who does have it. Someone in this very courtroom. And if that person is willing to submit the piece of evidence I'm referring to, it will solve every remaining mystery about this case. Very well. I have a feeling this will be my last request of the defense in this trial. Who possesses the conclusive evidence that will reveal the truth about this whole affair? Ooh, okay. Well, it would have to... It wouldn't be Brett, but it would have to have been Satoru Hosonaga, since he's the one who brought the plates forward. So let's try him. The answer is obvious. It's Inspector Hosonaga. What? I have it. Yes. You think I've been withholding conclusive evidence? That's ridiculous. Ahem. Okay, he's got a cough. No, I'm not saying that. Everyone's attention has been focused on this steak with the teeth marks. Yes? Now, earlier this afternoon, Sergeant Nossa told the court the following. I'd enjoy chopping my way through a good steak. And as well as admitting the stakes to stealing Koto's-san's coin, he told us that he slipped it under the steak. You watch it, Cadet. I'm a superior officer. Sergeant Nossa, could you please confirm something for me? Was the steak that you put the coin under, in fact, your own steak? Tashun! Affirmative, of course! I might be a soldier in the Imperial and Nippon Army, but still. I'm not brave enough to ask a foreign gentle lady if she'd mind me manhandling her meal to hide something in it. In other words, the steak that the detective submitted as evidence earlier was in fact Sergeant Nossa's meal. But that makes no sense. That plate was taken from the victim's table. Yet the gentlewoman doesn't take bites out of her steak, nor did she have any opportunity to steal the coin. Of course I didn't steal it. To even suggest such a thing would be an affront to the entire British Empire. Well then, how do you explain this paradox? Exactly. Surely you're not going to suggest that the sergeant switched the two steaks over. You did switch the plates? Well, after it happens, when I saw the civilian had been murdered right in front of my eyes like that, I panicked. As I said, I immediately lifted my steak and hit the coin underneath it. But then when the waiter announced he was an undercover policeman, I thought I'd had it. If he decided to investigate my slab of meat, that'd be it. I'd be getting my marching orders. So he swapped the steaks. So when the cadet here was arrested and taken off to the kitchen, I seized my chance. With military precision and timing, I switched my steak with the one on the foreign lady's table. What? You can't have. I never saw you do such a thing. It was called Operation Lightning Bolt. There was no time for strategic planning. It was do or die, I tell you. So yes, I did what I had to be done. Unbelievable. Okay, well that's decisive evidence that Jezael Brett... However, fear not, Prosecutor-san. What now? I saw on the brass buttons on my uniform that is all I did, sir. All you did? That's plenty, Sergeant. Okay, so, if Sergeant Nossa switched the plates over, it means he took Miss Brett's steak and the plate it was on back to his own table. Yes, that follows. Inspector Hosonaga? Yes? Earlier in this trial, you told the court this. You said that you had not only taken Miss Brett's steak after the incident, but also the sergeant's. That's to preserve evidence. You had taken both. Ah. Uh-oh. She's not happy. She knows what this means. That's correct. Then please present it to the court now. The plate that was actually on the victim's table at the precise moment he was shot. What can that possibly tell us now? I mean, a cold slab of tough meat? It can't have the slightest bearing on this case. Alright. No, you're not wriggling your way out of it this time, lady. I beg your pardon? Surely you're not that forgetful. Surely you remember the reason why the steak pan promises to prove such a problem for you, no? You're the ones who decided it was a problem, not me. The reason the defense asked to see the plate was to confirm something the defendant remembers seeing. Just thinks he remembers. I'm quite sure of what I saw, Miss Brett. On the side of the plate that was on the table directly behind Dr. Wilson, there was clearly splattering of blood from the gunshot wound to the victim's chest. I believe the defendant's memory serves him well. And now we have the evidence to prove it. The plate you were eating from, Miss Brett. Let us not prolong this any further. Inspector, you will show the evidence to the court. Present the beefsteak and plate that was originally on the victim's table to the time of the incident. Yes, sir! Okay, so he has it. Yeah, and there's the blood splattering as well. Sorry for keeping you. This is the actual steak. Here's the other steak in his plate. Please, feel free to examine it. Just as I thought, there's this blood splatter. The blood stain. It's clearly visible, look! Now this makes everything clear. The blood you can see on the side of the plate shows that at the moment the victim was shot, he was facing the table with his back to me. In other words, it's impossible for Naruhodo-san to have shot the victim. Okay, we've got it. It can't be. In fact, there's only one person who could have possibly had shot Dr. Wilson from the front. I'm sure everyone knows by now who that person is. Okay, we've got her. That's right. Miss Jessica Brett. It's you! Alright. We've done it. She tried... Uh-oh. Outdone? By a Japanese? Me? By a Japanese schoolboy? No, no, no! Alright, she's done. Ah! Okay. She's... Alright, and her bird hat is shitting out baby birds. Interesting. That was a rather extensive breakdown. And now she's flying away. No one's entirely sure what the hell just happened. And I can't say I blame them. Please excuse my little outburst. I briefly lost my composure. Most unbecoming behavior for an English gentlewoman. Forgive me. Well, Miss Brett, I think it's time you told the court what actually happened that day. The truth, this time. Alright. Gladly, Your Excellency. She's not gonna... It was I who took the professor's life, using Cure. As you surmised, I chose that particular day for one very important reason. The professor had a dental appointment for the extraction of one of his teeth in the morning. Okay, so now we have all the everything is falling apart. So you plan to kill the professor knowing that no trace of poison will be found in his water. Because Cure is unheard of here in Japan. Yes. Of course, I never intended to remain at the restaurant for as long as I did. I only needed to see the professor take one tiny sip of his water and it would all be over. I would place the steak I had ordered in front of him to make it appear as though he had been dining alone. And leave immediately. However, that didn't happen. Before any of that happened, there was an unexpected visitor at the professor's table. That would be me, I suppose. Yes, you. Who else? Such a trifling matter, but the fact that you decided to come over and greet the professor meant that I had lost my chance to slip away unnoticed. In due course, the professor took a sip of his water and was paralyzed. I made sure he was sitting in his chair such that he wouldn't fall. There was no going back at that point, so I concocted a plan on the spur of the moment. A plan to pin Dr. Wilson's murder on this innocent man. I happen to know that the professor always carried a gun. I decided to use that fact to my advantage. I had the bottle of Cure Air in my handbag, and my own pistol concealed under my skirt. Okay, so you were hiding a gun. Under your skirt? So I was right. There were 2 guns. Yes. And then I finished my coffee and got up to leave. That's when I noticed the professor's gun, which you had presumably placed on the floor. Placed where you were sure that I would notice it. And everything went according to plan. You noticed the gun, as I intended. And then, just as you bent down to pick it up, shot him. That's when you shot the professor with your own gun. Even though at that point, he was already dead. Naturally, the gunshot caused a commotion, at which point the waiter appeared. Obviously, I assumed Naruhodo-san was the culprit and apprehended him. I took him to the pantry that adjoins the kitchen and locked him inside. That's when I took the opportunity to turn the professor and his chair around. Because, of course, you needed to make it look like the defendant had shot Dr. Wilson from where he'd picked up the gun. Well, I guess that does it for this episode, then. We've done it. We've beaten her. So there you have it. That is the entirety of my misdemeanor. Well, that's good. We did it. Alright. That's all done now. Your Excellency? Yes? I wonder. Might I speak with you in private later? I shall call on you. Thank you. Good day then, everyone. I hope you can forgive me, Naruhodo-san. Well, I mean, she's still under arrest, right? She's still gonna get arrested for that. Alright, well, in any case, that's done. It would seem this trial has finally run its course. I presume the prosecution is in agreement. This can't be. Takatsuchi Aochi does not lose. Not to the likes of this rookie student. He's a sore loser. You better start getting used to tough opposition. Arrgh. Ryosuke Naruhodo. Well, yes? This insult to the Aochi family name will never be forgotten. You've become conceited with age, Council. But the old have to stand aside and make way for the new. It's the way of the world. May you never forget that. Okay, but why the sword, though? Oh. Oh, that's what the sword is for. 1,000 millennia may pass, and still, the Aochi clan will never measure up to the Naruhodo clan. Oh, the irony. Because that's actually exactly what happens. That is exactly what happens. This trial in the Supreme Court of Japan will, I believe, go down in history as the start of a new chapter in our country's judicial system. Alright. Despite being summoned as the accused, you, Ryosuke Naruhodo, presented an excellent case. Thank you, Your Excellency. The use of evidence and deduction to unravel the truth is a modern methodology. After all, it has only been a few short decades since our country opened its doors to the wider world. But the Western ideas of science are rapidly gaining acceptance here. I feel sure that this science will soon bring new methods of investigation and new procedures of justice. A new future of law awaits, but what it will look like, I cannot begin to imagine. That is for the young to pursue. Kazuma Asugi? Yes? After this trial, you are set to embark on a journey of discovery to the illustrious British Empire. Learn all you can. Absorb everything from the wider world that you are able to. And do not forget to fulfill the mission imposed upon you. Okay? I understand, Your Excellency. What was that about? Why do you look so grave all of a sudden? Never mind. As for you, Ryonosuke Naruhodo... Oh, yes? In you, I sense, how can I put it, unusual potential. I'm very much looking forward to seeing how you carry that onwards. Thank you, Your Excellency. This is where it ends. This is where the story ends. Or at least where the story for this ends. This is the end of this case. It is time to deliver the final verdict. I hereby find the defendant, Ryonosuke Naruhodo. All done. Not guilty. We did it. Also, I don't think the series ever explains where this confetti type effect comes from. This is just like to celebrate. I know it's like a celebration thing, but it's just really funny that it exists. This court is now adjourned. And that's it. That's the end of this chapter. Alright, so what do we got now? 22nd November, 22:46 p.m. Supreme Court of Judicature, Defendant's Antechamber 5. I can't believe it. I can't believe what's happened. I made it. I defended myself and made it through that horrendous trial. Ryonosuke, you finally pulled it off. Congratulations. Well, I couldn't have done it without you. Thank you, Kazuma. Ha 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 ha. No, it was a pleasure to watch you at work. So, you owe me an extra large sukiyaki in the place of Yuma University Street. Don't forget. Good afternoon. All your hard work has certainly paid off. Congratulations to both of you for proving Naruhodo-san's innocence. Thank you. Our trusty judicial assistant. You worked hard for that result, too, you know. Oh no, I didn't do anything. Thank you so much. If we hadn't had that research report of Miss Pratt's, I don't know how things would have turned out. Your kind words should really be for my father. I was simply doing as he asked. It was his idea for me to go to the university and investigate. Your father? Ah, yes, of course. Forgive me for intruding on court proceedings, Your Excellency. Sasuto Mikotoba, Judicial Assistant to the Defense. You're Professor Mikotoba's daughter. Right. Speaking of Mikotoba... Ah, there you are! I believe congratulations are in order. Naruhodo, you did an excellent job. Thank you, Professor. Oh no, it is I who should be thanking you. After all, your efforts exposed the true criminal that took the life of my good friend. Good friend? Oh yes, you mentioned that before. It was you who actually invited Dr. Wilson to Yuma University, wasn't it? Yes, that's right. Professor Mikotoba studied overseas himself. He went to study forensic medicine in Great Britain. Alright. Presumably, that's when you met Dr. Wilson? Exactly. In those days, we worked together in the same hospital. Oh, you worked together? I've never heard you mention that before. Well, it was a long time ago now. Besides, it's your turn, Asugi. Alright, yeah, he gets to go abroad. Great Britain is a magnificent country, at least the world. In science, medicine, engineering, culture, and, of course, in law. Watch and learn, my boy. See what's happening in the world's largest melting pot. I will. I'll learn all that I can. I swear on this, the spirit of the Asugi clan. You're not taking that sword to Great Britain, are you? Of course I am. A Japanese man's katana is his soul. This blade shows me where I need to go. And cuts down anything that's in my way. Yes, I've definitely seen how sharp it is already with my own eyes. That reminds me. What happened to the woman? To Josiah Brett, I mean. After all, she's guilty of murder. Ah yes, her. It's not easy to tell you this, but... What do you mean? Surely she's going to face trial herself now. She's the true culprit, after all. She will be leaving Japan in the very near future. For Shanghai. What? Shanghai? Josiah Brett will not appear in court again in this country. I'm certain of that. What? But why not? It's a matter of consular adjudication. Huh? Inspector Hosonaga? Okay, so she's not even going to face justice for her. It was a hard-fought battle in the courtroom today. Very impressive to watch. I must congratulate... But what's all this about consular jurisdiction? We cannot try this particular foreigner for her crimes here in Japan. What? We can't try her? But then, who? Who's going to bring her to justice? A British consular court will hear her case, somewhere far away, where her voices can't be heard. But why a consular court? Professor, I simply don't understand. I thought consular courts were a thing of the past now that we've signed the Friendship Treaty. Yes, in normal circumstances, you're right. Then, so long as this is not a serious incident of highly political nature to our respective governments, they can't invoke a consular court just like that. Oh, can't they? Yes, she's a student, but it doesn't justify our governments making secret agreements about her fate, does it? Something strange is going on. I think so Miss Brett can't be held accountable for her actions here in Japan. I'm afraid that for the young student, today's trial was nothing more than a game all along. There was never any danger of comeuppance for her. I don't believe it. Well, this sucks. That British government's Foreign Affairs Ministry has demanded that we hand over custody of Miss Brett. They're obviously taking this case of a foreigner student committing murder very seriously. But it's all going to change from now on. We can't make a change. We can make a change. Okay. This is the time of great turmoil. This new era heralded by the start of the 20th century. One day, I have no doubt, that woman will receive the judgment she deserves. Yes, change is coming. And we're the ones driving it. Well, I think that's enough seriousness for now. This evening calls for a celebratory drink. But Professor... You're right. This is no time for gloomy faces. We should be celebrating Ryunosuke's not guilty verdict. Let's start having some fun. Fair point. In that case, might I suggest La Carnival? As the head waiter, I should be delighted to provide you with ample food and drink. You're a detective, Hosonaga-san. Aren't you? Let's not worry about details for now. To La Carnival, will you accompany us, Professor? Of course. La Carnival's food is second to none. I shall go and attend to the paperwork for Naruhodo-san's release. Oh yes, thank you. Alright, is that it then? So Jezebel Brett won't be tried here. I suppose that means I'll never know. I'll never find out why she killed Dr. Wilson. Unless he goes abroad. Kazuma? Yes, Ryunosuke? I just wanted to say thanks again. That's all. You really saved my skin today. Ha 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 ha. I didn't do a thing. You were the lawyer in there, weren't you? The defense was all your own work. Your skills made the difference, though. One day, I bet you will be the best lawyer in the world. I'm not so sure about that. To be honest, something kept occurring to me over and over again during that trial. I couldn't help thinking that maybe you're the one destined to become a great lawyer, not me. What? Come on, be serious. If I helped you today, it was only right at the very start of this trial. But you have a natural talent for it. For being a defense lawyer, I mean. Oh no, not me. All that tense verbal combat, I could never want to go through that ever again. Seems like you don't really have much of a choice. I did what you told me to do, that's all. Because I knew I could trust you. That's the point. Sorry? What do you mean, that's the point? Listen, Ryunosuke. Do you know what the most crucial weapon any lawyer needs in order to win? Knowledge of the law? No. The ability to believe. To believe? To believe what? A defense lawyer has to fight for his client. He has to believe in them at all times. Like you believed in me when I said I didn't do it. I'm a human, just like you. I don't have some superhuman ability to know the truth. But you have to make a choice about what to believe in and stick to it when you're defending someone. Alright, sometimes in the courtroom, you can really be backed in their corner. But being able to remain faithful to where you choose to believe in even then, well, that's not something that anyone can do. It takes a special kind of person. Believing in your clients. Just look at today's trial. I'm a student lawyer with a precious little real experience, but you never stopped believing in me. Well, You face something hopeless, seemingly hopeless situations time and again, but you never stopped looking for the truth. And in the end, you found it, through your own efforts, and because you never stopped believing in me. Thanks, Kazuma. What does he have to say? There's something I want to ask you, actually, Ryunosuke. Well, it's a favor, really. Something very important to me. It sounds serious. What is... Ah, you're still here, are you? Oh, Inspector Hosonaga. I've arranged some rickshaws for us. Let's go. Thank you. We'll be right there. So what are we doing? Let's pick this conversation again later. We should be celebrating right now. Your first court victory. And your study tour to Great Britain, don't forget. Ah, yes. That too. Alright, so is that the end of the story? Or at least at the end of the first chapter? So my very first trial came to an end. Kazuma. Professor Mikotoba. Susato-san, who acted as my assistant. Inspector Hosonaga, who didn't really play much of a part, but still. Okay. It was because of the help and the support of all these people that I managed to get through that trial. But more importantly, Kazuma hadn't yet managed to ask his favor of me. Little did I realize just how much it would change my life. And that's the end of the chapter. Yeah, that's the end of the chapter. Okay, so that was a good first chapter for that. So that was a little bit... Defense debut awarded. Alright, so it gave me a medal for that. Alright, I'm going to save my progress. And then I think I'm going to leave this episode here. So that was the end of trial number of case 1. So we got... There are 4 cases per game. So we've got another... No, there are 5 cases per game. So we got another 4 in this game and then 5 in the next ones. But we're making progress. So long story short, we did beat Jesse Albrecht and we're able to prove that she was a murderer, but doesn't seem like she's going to be tried for it, at least not in Japan. So I'm not entirely sure if we'll ever see the results of that, but she at the very least has been apprehended for her crimes. We don't know if she'll actually be found guilty or not, but who knows. But in any case, I think I'm going to leave this episode here. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, be sure to follow me on Twitter in the description below. And also, be sure to check out my Patreon in the description below as well. If you want to help support me, then my Patreon is the best way to do that. So, by all means, go check it out. And also, if you guys want to see more content from me, then be sure to check out both my Twitch and the links in the end screen. My Twitch, I stream over on Twitch every Sunday, 2:30 Eastern Standard Time. Link is down in the description if you want to go check that out. You can also, it's also called Zack Does Twitch. You can search it by going to twitch.tv/ZackModersDoesTwitch if you don't want to use the link down in the description for whatever reason. And also, if you want to see the content on the end screen, the top video is the most recent video. It may or may not be this one. Whereas the bottom video is the video recommended to you based on what you've already seen from me. So, if you want to try something new, or see more of what you like, then be sure to check both of those videos out. But, regardless of whether or not you do any or all of those things, thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace!